So as part of our 20th anniversary celebrations in 2024, Pharos Architectural Controls is spotlighting 20 people and projects that have helped shape our company and our products and continue to inspire us every day. Mark de Gruyter from Pharos and I are extremely excited today to be joined by Torben Skov Hansen from Chromaviso to talk about his experiences with Pharos products and some of the projects that have helped to bring the tech to life. Hi, gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. It's really lovely to have you both. We're really excited to dive in, Torben, to kind of get under the skin of some of your experiences with Pharos and your experiences in the lighting industry. And I'm delighted to hand it over to Mark to kick off the chat.
Yeah, well, fantastic. And Torben, thanks again for carving the time from your very busy schedule to have this conversation with us. But yeah, it's crazy. 20 years, a long time we're celebrating. But I think Chromaviso is nearing 20 years yourselves in terms of just being in business. And so our cooperation didn't start until sometime after that. I think we began cooperating in around 2012, so for about 12 years now, and still going strong, I think. So yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting to maybe go back and look at how you came to know about Pharos and what really brought us together all those years ago.
Yes, exactly, and thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure. You're completely right that the company Chromaviso was founded 18 years ago. Quite literally these days. So, and the first years they were all about providing a completely novel kind of lighting into operating theaters. So it was very, very specific and very, very geeky to begin with from day one. And the whole story emerged in a very, very dark room doing surgery with a surgeon that was so immensely annoyed by the fact that they stumble around in complete darkness. He had this idea to combine architectural lighting and room lighting in there with color mixers in order to enhance his visible performance and in order to actually increase both the working environment conditions and also how the quality is about surgery. And since the founders of Chromaviso were quite extensively experienced in entertainment lighting or entertainment lighting, also already sort of acquainted with DMX and all those sorts, it was quite natural that they took up this idea as a new business opportunity. And for the first years, it was all about controlling just a single room. So they had their own developed control system and everybody was happy about that. But when I joined the company some 11, 12 years ago, we expanded the business into multi-room control in larger areas of hospitals and still staying within health and care, which we have been devoted to ever since. But that multi-room control was completely out of scope with our existing original lighting controller. So we made a scan of the business and quite quickly came to the conclusions that Pharos was the obvious choice for partnership and collaboration. And history proves that very, very well.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think, reflecting back, you guys were entering into, I think it's fair to say, you sort of become the pioneers, if you will, or market leaders in this niche sort of medical sector, whereby, if you will, I think you have coined a term as, light as medicine, so using it both in terms of, patient care, as well as you were just describing from an ergonomic standpoint for the physicians and the operating rooms themselves, et cetera. So it's a really interesting market sector that I think back that many years ago was in its infancy and has certainly grown over time, but you guys really helped to, push that forward and be leaders in the market. So really, really interesting and a unique sort of application for us at the time, because as you were just describing, we were doing a lot of we come from an entertainment background, and then that's eventually evolved into architainment, et cetera. But this was sort of a step aside from that in a unique market sector that we hadn't really explored, and where we're really quite excited with the prospect of working with Chromaviso and expanding that over the years. And as we see from today, the long-term cooperation has really worked out well for both of us, I think. But and I think, in looking back at those things, I remember spending a lot of time where we were working on the development of integration.
Yes, you're
and
completely
the
right.
time and the long hours and things spent on doing that. So maybe you can tell us a bit about that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And that was also quite on the top of my mind, because I think that, the benefits and the beauty in this partnership proved very, very early in the cooperation, because one of the first projects that we had with multi-room control was a really, really large installation in a Danish psychiatric hospital, some 8,000 square meters with more than 100 patient wards, had to be completely integrated with what we call circadian lighting, which is multicolor luminaires that will be coordinated to basically mimic the rhythm of day and night across all square meters. So it was some 1,100 6-channel luminaires that had to be controlled there. And lighting control, we got that covered, you got that covered, but the integration into building automation and all the user panels and the motion sensors and also centralized touch-based user interfaces, both for monitoring and surveillance and also multi-room control, was definitely something that we built, out of nothing in these first projects. And I think that we had a really, really strong collaboration about KNX integration and web server client integration as well, where actually some of the things developed back then are still foundations of what we do today. KNX has sort of emerged as the building automation standard, at least where we are active. So we do that in many cases in larger scale projects, and definitely also this web server, web client based multi-room control and monitoring system that we have developed in collaboration is something that we utilized in many projects today. And today we are present at more than 100 hospitals across Scandinavia. And these circadian installations have found its way into almost 100, some 50, 60 installations in elder care, and roughly the same amount in psychiatry or intensive care units or neonatal areas or rehabilitation. I mean, in every clinical area where you would be active 24/7, we are represented, so to speak. And we are using the same principles as we did. Obviously, everything has developed, everything is improved, especially the lighting designs and the whole knowledge, evidence, clinical documentation, whatever you might want to call it. But that firm knowledge about the documentation of light interaction with humans, and what happens depending on their diagnosis or what health condition they struggle with. At the same time, benefits in regards to staff at the same time, because it is a hugely complex working environment, having people sick, trying to recover, trying to sleep some parts of the day, but at all parts of the day, it's a working space for the staff, right? And yeah. So the lighting designs required for people both to have it as a recovery space, a space for sleep, and also a space for work. That is the complexity that we deal with in all our projects. And I think that it is core of the value that we provide to the market.
100%. Amazing history, and just incredible to see how that the circadian rhythm thing has really taken off in that ensuing 10 years, where we see a lot more of that being implemented generally. And yeah, just remember being at the forefront of that with you guys in terms of developing that, etc. And you guys, Chromaviso taking advantage of the show control capabilities that were sort of developed as part of the entertainment technology side of things, but that same show control, centralized, brain, if you will, for triggering, etc., has been capitalized on by Chromaviso. And interestingly, all of that initial work with the KNX module, building management, etc., I think it's fair to say that in the long term, that served all that hard work that proved somewhat cumbersome and challenging at times, really laid the groundwork for us as Pharos in helping to confirm our long-standing development plans, by underscoring the importance of facilitating this type of third-party system protocol integration for the broader architectural and architainment markets. And yeah, you guys just really set the pace for that and helped to set the groundwork for what has eventually become what we call in Pharos our I/O module library. Exactly. All of the work with Chromaviso helped us to really reconfirm our thoughts that was an important aspect of what we're doing, and helped to, again, lay the groundwork for what we now have is a very comprehensive I/O module that helps to facilitate this sort of third-party protocol and system integration along with the lighting, etc. So yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, and also the fact that, like what you mentioned here, the fact that this is a full-scale stage-grade playback engine that you provide, that we can utilize in large areas. So when combining to conventional building automation solutions, when it comes to multi-channel lighting control, this is really next level in comparison to what we see otherwise. I mean, single channel to dual channel luminaires can be solved in many ways, but in order to meet the criteria in the pursuit of, do no harm at night and ensure to entrain during daytime, the clinical documentation that we built over the years really proves that it is required to have more channels than just two. And in order to do that in large areas, in large scale, we need that power from a playback engine, which is powerful enough. And we get that from the Pharos solutions.
Yeah, you certainly put our hardware through its paces, and testing limits, but it's fantastic. And again, it's really served us well in the sense that, through that ongoing collaboration, it's helped us to recognize the need for that, added grunt, if you will, in terms of the power of the control system to facilitate the things that you guys are trying to achieve. So yeah, it's been super helpful for us, I think, in terms of our development road and that in this space, as it were, in terms of integration, etc. So.
Absolutely. I was going to say, like, the collaboration and the kind of learning and growing dependent on, the capabilities and the needs, of your clients and your projects, Torben. I think that's kind of testament to, where Pharos Kit really kind of brings the thunder. And I just wondered, just listening to, your experiences, if you had a particular favourite project or a standout project that really tested your mettle, perhaps mentally, and changed the game for you, or a project that particularly stands out?
Well, there are quite a few actually, and all with their different beauty. But I think one of the most projects that is on the top of my mind also is a really large and really advanced project that we do in Malmö in Sweden, where they have around 30 operating theaters, all fitted with our lighting system and Pharos control system as well, fully integrated into the medical technical equipment there. We're using various protocols, and also an intensive care unit around 2,500 square meters, where all square meters are covered with luminaires from us, lighting control 24/7, both integrated with lighting, but also integrated with therapeutic sound. So the sound system is also integrated into all the user panels, the push buttons, the motion sensors, and also this centralized web-based monitoring and control system is actually also implemented there. And everything is completely knitted together with the building automation system that handles blinds and heating and ventilation and everything. So it all comes together, so to speak, and is actually at the same time migrated completely into the regional IT infrastructure of that healthcare region of Sweden. So we migrate completely into the IT infrastructure, and we integrate completely with the building automation systems that are there. But in every second along that project, we always think about the primary mission here is to provide the life and the health improvements that are possible if you think about them all the time for those patients that try to recover from trauma, and for those staff that need to work there 24/7, and both they need to be safe, but at the same time they also need to feel safe, and at the same time promote that health promoting. Yeah, trying to learn the rhythm of nature again once you have had that trauma. So I think that's a really, really beautiful project. It completely pushes everything to the limit. But it's a strong proof that it makes a difference to use this combination of our luminaires and the Pharos control system.
It's amazing, really, and I think, you know, my career started out in entertainment technology, and I think it's one of the most sort of satisfying things about working with Chromaviso with Pharos is that, you know, I love the entertainment stuff, etc. But I think it's really sort of rewarding to know that Pharos is being used in situations and you know, projects like these where it has a bit more meaning, I think, and has you know, it's the the medicine side thing. You know, it gives me pride to work alongside Chromaviso in a sense. Something different than the, you know, the color changing architectural stuff and the entertainment stuff. But yes, it's a whole new world for us, and yeah, very exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's really great to kind of understand more about the ways that you've been able to take Pharos kit and use it as a force for good, as you say, you know, in that therapeutic space. And we've absolutely loved hearing your experiences. We thank you so much for your time, Torben. And yeah, we're really sort of proud to have you as part of our 20th anniversary campaign. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.